Okay, let's get right into the stock charts. I'm going to point out a couple things that are kind of key right now and pivotal to watch. So I want to dig into the tech sector, some tech stocks. We'll go through some of these individual trade ideas I've pointed out in the last couple weeks, and then we'll wrap up. Wasn't able to get a video out yesterday. I actually had to fly out of town, and I'm back today. So let's get right into it. Starting off with triple Qs. All right, so I put out a video. My last video talked about a tech stock sell signal, and at the time of the video, it was a valid sell signal. You can see here we've had a breakdown right there on January 10th of this blue trend line on the daily chart that goes all the way back, pretty much goes all the way back to the September time frame. And I've kind of adjusted my trend line. I've been kind of messing with it slightly, but it's basically right there. And you can see that we've had several tags of support on this trend line. Now, 2 days ago, there on the 10th, we broke that trend and it gapped down, and that's what I was looking for. I was looking for that gap down in the markets. We got the gap down, but they were pretty much were able to recover that. And, the buyer stepped in on the gap down, and it was like a stick save, basically. What a stick save is, and my trend line was kind of adjusted like this, but what a stick save is you see that basically they rallied the stock up and closed it pretty much right on the trend line, close enough that we're pretty much right on the trend line. And then the next day they, recovered that trend line. So basically, you had a break, and then the buyer stepped in and recovered the trend line, closing the day without a sell signal. So, as the one way you could have done it is close out your shorts. If you had shorted Qs, you could close out your shorts because we did recover that trend line. The next thing I'm looking for another sell signal at this point would be a break of this trend line. Okay. We have not broken this trend line yet, so I need to see that go. If that breaks, that's likely your next sell signal, or, that's your valid sell signal. I thought we got it 2 days ago, but again, that stick save came into play. Now, I've shorted the Qs. I shorted it up here into this resistance level, and we did get a short-term sell signal up there on the 4th, January 4th. So that's where my entry's at, and, so far so good. But I did lighten up some of those shorts. As we got that stick save, I did lighten up some of those shorts. And, I still have some shorts, but I did lighten some up and took some profit, basically. So I just want to point that out. Now, I think we're going to get a break of the trend line soon, but until I see it, we don't have another sell signal. No reason to really be, aggressively short the triple Qs because we're above trend, and the trend right now is bullish. So things to look for there. Again, that level that I'm watching for right now is about 383 on the Qs. If we break that, nice impulsive breakdown, that should be the sell signal that I thought we got 2 days ago. All right, and then the SPY is very similar. SPY is just, if you roll out, we're just trading in an uptrend, and I've got it kind of marked out. The bottom of the trend is down here at about 450. Top of the trend the channel is up about 480 or so, and we're kind of, right in the middle, maybe a little bit to the upside. So I don't see any real reason to be short SPY. Again, the SPY is going to likely go where the Qs goes, and until we see a breakdown in the Qs, SPY is not going to sell off. Small caps, and small caps, just to kind of point out, we're still in this big sideways trading range here. That, the bottom of the trading range that I've got is about 209, and the top of the trading range is right up there at about 234, and we're just still trading with that in that trading range. We've been going sideways pretty much since over a year now, since January of 21. So going sideways, until we're going to need to see a break one way or the other to the upside or the downside. We did have this false breakout right here that was sold into, so it tells me we're likely going to get a breakdown. Maybe it's a false breakdown, but I think we're likely going to at least attempt to break to the downside, just because we had a false, if we were going to break to the upside, we could have done it right here, but we didn't. So now if it breaks to the upside again, maybe that is a real breakout. So one way or the other, we got to see a break of this range to trade this thing. Okay, gold bullion. We're trading up to the top of our range right up here at about 1833. So that's been resistance for a while. You can see all the tags there. There was another one. So we've had 4 tags of that, and we're heading right up there. So a breakout from this level, and I think we're going to get the real deal. If we break to the upside, I think this is going to be the real deal. We already had a breakout once right here, and it proved to be a bull trap. And after that sold off, we sold down to the bottom of the range, which is about 1755. And then we also had 2 breakdowns, which proved to be bear traps. So ultimately, this thing's just been whipping all over the place, really choppy trading. But I think if we're going to get the break for the second time to the top side of the range, then we're likely going to, start the next leg higher in gold. And I really do think the next leg higher is going to take us above the all-time highs, up to about 2,500, 2,600, somewhere right in there. Looks like the pattern that this is setting up. The way where I'm getting that from, if you go to like the weekly chart, the 2,600 price target. So the bigger picture on this weekly chart, we've got this big rounding bottom, and it's also, you could also consider it a cup and handle, but you've got this big rounding bottom here. That's a consolidation pattern that took place over multiple years, and we shot up, and then we've had this pullback here. This is your handle right here. When you start to break to the upside and make your next leg higher, your target is what you're going to do is you're going to take the bottom of the cup to the top of the cup, which is it's about that 2,000 area, and that's going to be your projected target. As you roll it out like that, that should put us up to 2,600 right there. 2,650 is the projected target on the move higher. And if that plays out, well, we should have a pretty strong rally in the gold mining stocks. And I like silver as well. This is SLV. So this one you can see on the weekly chart, we've got a nice clean bullish divergence here on the weekly. So let me clean this up a little bit. I'll show you guys what I'm looking at. On the weekly, you can see that we basically made a low right in here, and then we made a new low right here. I know it's kind of hard to see because these are wicks, big wicks, or tails, I guess. But we made an equal low this week, week of December 13th, and the former low was right there on the 27th. Clean bullish divergence on the weekly. See how the momentum's moving higher on the RSI and the PPO. So equal low in price, higher low in momentum indicators. Tells me that bullish divergence is set up to play out for a move at least up to this 25 area in silver. So I like that. And by proxy, I like the silver miners as well, just because, if you like the base, if you like the core metal, the miners that mine that metal should benefit with leverage. So I do like that. Okay, let's look at some of the long trades. Just give a quick update. Vale coming into resistance. We've got a little bit more to go to the upside, 1611. It could even overshoot this a little bit, but that's strong resistance. You can see here we had a reaction. So look for the sellers to step in. If you took this thing long down here at the support line, as I roll out, this is coming off your March or January 2016. So a long, nice, solid support line on this weekly chart. And if you took the buy signal down here, this is a good probably area to start thinking about maybe taking profit. It's been a pretty solid trade, really, from the entry up to here is about a 37% gain in a matter of just a couple months, and so that's pretty solid. Looking at the daily, you can see we're kind of moving up. I think we might spike through it, but as we approach that, I like to sell ahead of the levels just to lock in those gains. So that is looking good, and it's been a good trade so far. And then you can see here on Rio, this thing spiked today. It's kind of gone parabolic. It's hit my second target right here at 74.24. And, I think this has probably gone ahead of itself. This is likely I think we're likely at the near-term top. We're going to get a pullback here is what I'm thinking. And it's been a really good trade as well. From the entry right here, this thing is up 20%. So both of those really good trades. I think they probably run their course, at least in the short term. You can see the RSI at this point is at 84. So pretty overbought. It's about as overbought as this thing gets. As what I like to do on RSI, I don't use 70 and 30. Oftentimes 30 is oversold, and 70 is overbought. But what you really want to do is take a take each stock for what it is. Some stocks can get really overbought. This one, Rio, looks like it gets about to where we're at now at this 84, kind of 84 area. And that's about as overbought as it gets. You can see we were overbought here. We had a pullback, and then we were that overbought back here, right here, and that was pretty much near the high. We did go on to make one slight divergent high, but not before pulling back pretty decently. So, yeah, I'm if you're still in this, you might want to think about pulling the plug on that, in my opinion, or just move your stops up. If you're a longer term investor and you've bought into this thing, maybe you want to move your stops up and let it ride. Okay, Baba called this one out for a long back here on the 6th. So far, so good. Everything's continuing to move higher. From the buy signal, it's up about 10% now. And I think we're just rolling on to fill this gap. So my target still remains this 161.35. That's kind of my final target on this one, my only target basically. You might get a little pullback here at this gap fill though, right there. Maybe it wants to rally up to about 148.29. Maybe you pull back. I'm just speculating what could possibly happen. But I do think eventually it's going to get its way up there to that 161 for a final target. So I like it. Still looks good on a long trade. DraftKings, as far as I can tell, DraftKings looks like a long right here. And not, here's what I'm looking at. Bullish divergence, so you'll see that the price was continuing to kind of drift lower through here and see the momentum's moving higher on both momentum indicators. So you have bullish divergence. The downtrend line that I have marked out is pretty much right there. And if you look at the hourly, you can kind of tie that in. You can see we had several reactions. There's the high, there's a reaction. We had another reaction here. Got a little choppy right through here, but, and it's gotten choppy on this breakout, so we don't have a complete buy signal. If I look at the daily here, what I would look for or wait for, if you want to be conservative, because I don't like the price action on this break, this break of this trend line here, I'd wait for a break at this level right there, 27.75. If you go to the hourly, it's basically these highs right here. Just wait for an hourly close right there above those 2 hourly candles, a nice solid break higher. If we do that, I think we're going to trade, we're looking at a bear market rally for this thing. First level of resistance, 30.59, and then a final target I would have at 35.41, okay? So those two targets I think could be probable if we start to get the break above that key level right there at, that 27.80 area that I pointed out. Okay, short trade ideas. AVGO, we bounced off that first level of support right there at 607.34. And, we're getting that bounce. So really what you want to see for the next sell signal on this is a break of that level. We get a nice solid close or a break of that level. Start watching the hourly chart for the break. And I think we will sell down to the next level of support, which is about 545, 546 right in there. So that's what I'd be looking for on that one. And this will likely go with the Qs. As the Qs, if the Q sells off, all these tech stocks are going to sell off with it. So we have a couple things to watch on the Qs, and there's some individual levels there on that one. Lyft, I still like Lyft to sell down some more. So you can see we rallied over the last couple days up to this resistance level at 45.86. And I had that level marked out, but we had this gap back from November 2020 to fill. We haven't filled it yet. So you can see we're still holding this resistance level. I think it's going to roll over and make one more move to the downside and run down and fill that gap. So that's the trade I like on this one, is for a move down into the gap. So yep, still looking for that. Okay, looks like soybeans is another buy. Again, we hit this resistance level here at 23.52. We did get a reaction. You can see that we basically spiked it, pulled back, had a couple days where we kind of consolidated. But today, we're back above there, and it actually looks like we're, continuing the move to the upside. So at this point, I'm going to buy this and look for a trade up to 24.83 as the next high. Likely we're going to get a little bit of a pullback there because that will be a double top. So you'll probably get at least a pullback on the initial tag of that. But I think it's very possible after we get that pullback we could continue to the upside. So things to look for there, but I like it here. And also check out the dollar, the DXY. We're getting a pullback to support today. So you can see the uptrend line right here. And they sold this thing down. Now, right now, it's breaking. It's breaking the trend line. But we'll see where we close out the day at. We are, just overshooting that support. If it continues to sell down, then that's a sell signal in the dollar. That should boost gold, and we probably are going to see that break higher in gold. So some of my favorite stocks right now, the long trades, are the gold miners because they haven't had a move yet. They're set up bullish. Doesn't mean it's gonna work, but they're definitely set up bullish. And we haven't gotten that move, so the opportunity is still there. We need to see the dollar break down, and we need to see gold break those levels. And then the shorts, not my favorite because of that stick save that took place. So I'm definitely I've lightened up on my shorts. I'm still holding a couple shorts, but looking for some additional signs of more sell signals to add to those shorts. Until I get those additional signs, we'll just take our profit and wait for the next opportunity. That's all I have for right now, everyone. I'll kind of scan around, look for anything else that's interesting. Leave a comment what you think of the video. Leave a thumbs up if you find value, and check out the course if you haven't done so. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.